What's up, everybody? Welcome to Y'all Listening podcast.
Y'all listening?
Yes, y'all
Y'all
listening.
listening?
We are back with our second episode. So sorry for the delay. It has been so much going on.
Tripping, straight tripping. We've been tripping.
Yeah,
We admit.
life been lifing, like y'all say.
Yeah.
Anybody that got kids, back to school time, hectic. So thank y'all for being patient, tuning in, and for those who have been following us, we appreciate the encouragement and support that you guys have been showing us. Doing this podcast, I'm going to tell you, it's not easy. It comes with a lot of tests because, one, we're talking about two married individuals coming together, doing something to glorify the Most High. That right there alone got the enemy upset. And so there's been a lot of things that has tried to get in the way of us doing this podcast. But today's topic, we're going to kind of focus on unity in marriage. And one of the questions that came to my mind was, are you evenly yoked? And I know, we've been married for 8 years, and you would think that the answer would be, confidently yes. But, we had a situation that came up where we had to actually be put in a position to see, are we evenly yoked? Because you could be married with somebody or friends with someone for years and y'all not be evenly yoked. And what I mean by that is spiritually on the same page and doing the same doing the will of the Most High collectively. So yeah, we're gonna get into it. We're not going to have questions like our typical.
Yeah, we just gonna flow.
Yeah, we want to flow.
It's gonna be us, and y'all just stay tapped in and bear with us.
Yeah, and what a perfect time for this topic with all of the controversy going on with celebrity marriages all over social media, just kind of getting this negative image about marriage. I just want to put a disclaimer out. Please do not allow your perception of marriage to be formed based off of what you see through media.
Thank you, Ashley. Say it again.
The most realistic marriages you're gonna see is not going to be on camera.
Yeah.
And it's probably the people that are closest to you who you should be, looking up to. And I'm not saying idolize, because we shouldn't be idolizing anybody. That's, God don't want us doing that. But it's just been a lot of controversy, and I've been seeing a lot of just bashing about people getting married and being on social media. And, people are like, oh, see, this marriage junk is a joke, or, yeah, I'm glad they divorced. This person back on the market. And it's like, what a horrible mindset to have. And yes, I'm being honest. It's the truth. Somebody need to tell the truth. It's a horrible mindset for us as people to have when somebody else's life is failing or looks like it's failing or is in shambles. One, because it's these same people who post on social media about being lonely or wanting to find a husband or a wife, but here you are putting your mouth on somebody else's situation, not realizing those words that you sow, you have to reap them. Because when you get married
and that's even if they want to get married, because a lot of people, first of all, what you said was spot on. You're right. People need to hear the truth in regards of, idolizing celebrities' marriages. And, that's not to say these celebrities are, getting married and living their life, but that doesn't mean that they are the blueprint for how you are supposed to live. Like, God's word is the blueprint of how you're supposed to live. But if we're looking at so-and-so getting married to so-and-so, and we adore them because everything that the media is putting in front of us and what they choose to put in front of us looks so good, we think that I want to be like them. You have no idea what they are going through when them cameras is off, behind closed doors, what goes on at night. You know what I'm saying? You have no idea. So, I'm so glad, even for us, we have a relationship in the Most High, and we are we're looking at Him as being an example, showing us the way to live our life in our marriage.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And it just really I don't comment a whole lot on those type of topics on social media because they ain't ready for my comment. Because if I get on there and say what I really want to say, y'all gonna be looking at me different, and that be a lot of me fighting my flesh. Right. So what I usually do is I'll get off social media and I just kind of dialogue with my husband. And again, I think this is a perfect topic for, you know, just what's going on in the world, and just for those who are looking to get married, are married. You know, if you are married, you can identify with how important unity is in a marriage. I believe that every marriage should understand that, and there's going to be a lot of things that come to try to cause division and separation, but you know, we have to stand strong. You know, we have to stand strong. It's an all-out attack on marriages. I don't know, but those of my people who are, you know, in the spirit realm, who can sense it and feel it, it's a lot going on, and it's definitely heavy attacks on marriages, and it's been like that for some years now. So anyways, let's dive into our topic. So when we're talking about unity, what does unity mean to you?
In its simplest form, you know, exactly what it is, you know, being unified, being one, you know, for us being on the same page, being evenly yoked, you know what I mean? And for us being evenly yoked does not mean that there isn't going to be times where we're tested to see if we are on the same page, you know what I'm saying? Because it's not just a one-time thing. Like, this is a daily decision. In order for us, we have to make a daily decision to be evenly yoked in order for our marriage to be successful. Yeah. So, you know what I mean? And if you're married, we're only 8 years in the game. If you older and you 20, 30 years in the game, we are now experiencing how that can be. Like, this ain't no joke. But we believe in each other. We believe that we are created to be with one another according to the Most High, and we're going to make this work. You know, we're going to, even at our highest points, we still want to put in the work to stay evenly yoked, you know what I'm saying, to stay on the same page. So that's what it means to me, you know. Yeah. What about you?
Thought you never
Mrs. Ashford?
Not this way. Yes, all of what you said, and it also means, you know, spiritually being on the same page. It means that, you know, we're both, you know, we're studying together, we're praying together, you know, we are reading our word together. When conflict comes up, we're like this and we're not like this, you know what I'm saying? Wow. Like, yeah. we got each other's backs, basically. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, we in a fight and my back is locked against his. Yeah. It's not the other way around, like, we're separated. And so it just basically means, like he said it beautiful, being one, literally being one. And it's funny because in so many ways we have become one. Like, I say certain things that he do that I don't even realize. Right. I'll be like, what's the thing that I'll be saying to the best of my ability? I'm always saying,
that's my favorite line. If you know me,
to the best of my ability.
To the best of my ability.
I always say that now, and I think that's so funny because I can hear myself sounding like him when I say it. But not even just that, like, just being one in how we think about certain things. Of course, we're not gonna have the same thought process. Right. You know, we're two different people, two different upbringings, two different perspectives, and you know, that's cool, but some things you just gotta be solid on, you know what I mean? You know, even being unified in how we raise our children is important. So and we're gonna touch on that a little bit in this podcast, but you know, that's what unity means. It's just basically being one, and I think that we've grown to become that over the years. And of course, it's still work to do. You know, we can get into an argument and not be one at that point, you know.
Listen, real quick, because you already know where I'm going with it. You already know where I'm going. Real quick, y'all don't even know, like, episode 1, I mean, we just had mad fun with it. We were unified. We were in unity. You know what I mean? And that was a Kickstarter. You know, we had some fun with that. It was still informative and things like that. But episode 2, this one, when I mean, we was going toe to toe, and we're mature enough spiritually to understand when the enemy is attacking. But when your emotions, based on how you feel about, you know, your point of view is real, when it feels so real, you're not even thinking about what the enemy is doing. You looking at the other person like, no, you the enemy. It's your fault.
Dang, that's
like
crazy.
It's your fault. Like, you are the reason why we are not, you know, moving forward in whatever area y'all are, you know, in your life. So what we practice is, even before now, we may even put it in the episode, which I think would be healthy for others as well, is we pray right before each episode. That holds us accountable to our emotions. That holds us accountable to our thought process, and, you know what I mean, the things that we say to each other, and it helps us even flow, because now that we are our prayer, we're both in agreement. on our prayer. Now we're both coasting on in the same lane. We have our foundation laid. We're just on go. You know what I mean? So that's the back up our point as far as like, not being on the same page all the time, because it can get crazy.
And trust me, crazy. When you're doing a marriage podcast, you have to operate in unity. Yeah. And especially if it's glorifying God, you have to operate in unity, because this is not for us. Like, we're benefiting from this because it's helpful, but it's really for people who are watching. We want you guys to get, the insight and just encouragement around marriage, because it can be tough if you're not built for it, and you have to be built for it. And so, I think that is a really good example you use. Yeah. We was not putting out that episode. Nope. We was not in unity. Nope. And it was like you trying to force it. Nah, we smart enough to know. First of all, people can sense that, and not that I, to a degree, care as much. Right. because there's gonna be times where we getting on here and we're trying to navigate through difficult things or whatever. Right. But it's just some stuff you got to know when to be like, nah, that ain't it.
Because we still want to protect us at the same time. Right. Like, we understand. Even operating in this podcast, we're in unity and understanding, and just seeing what our crowd, what our audience look like, even on social media. You know what I mean? And we want to be careful on how we represent ourselves. It's always important to, to manage your own image. Like, you don't want to just be looking like anything out there. Like, I want to walk with integrity. I want my character to be right. I want it to be right for the Most High, first of all. But if I'm representing him, I'm doing my best to look like him. You know what I mean? So with that last episode, with us trying to make it happen when we're still in our feelings, it was just over. You see what I'm saying? So, we were not unified at that moment. And even after the episode, we're still looking at it like, oh, maybe we could do this, to try and, because we still want to put our content with this. You want to be consistent, but you don't want to force it either. Yeah. You don't want to force it. You're going to be looking like boo-boo the fool. You feel me?
Nah, for real. Yeah. And our natural element, when we both unify, we're goofy, we're, I can't explain it. It's so hard to explain it, but if y'all watch the first episode, then you kind of get the point. Right. So I want to bring up something that actually that came up over the last few weeks that happened with me and Kyron, that really tested our level of unity with each other, and it also revealed our growth, especially spiritually, together. And key word is together, because without that togetherness in a spiritual journey and a walk with the Most High, it can be bad in your marriage. And so, to make a long story short, it was a concert that happened here, and it was a reggae artist that I love. Like, if me and him, we love reggae, so we ain't even gonna get into that too much. But
how I used to get down, baby.
The No Linga
You feel me? Yeah, I get crazy with it, baby.
Oh man, but yeah, I love this artist, and anytime a event happens, if I'm with Kyron and he's filming or whatever, and I'm there, if I'm in an environment that I know is not in alignment with the Most High will, I get a natural conviction. I get convicted over everything. So don't ever think for 1 second I'm walking around here just doing stuff, not caring. No, I do care. Right. This last situation, the conviction was so heavy, and so I was prepared to go. I had everything all mapped out. And I came to my husband and I was like, thinking that he was gonna kind of like agree with my flesh, like, hey, after this concert, let's be done with this. Let's not be in these environments.
You gotta tell him exactly how you broke it down to me.
So I came. Come on, bro.
Got to. You know what I mean?
All right. So I came to him and I was like, babe, after this, I want to lock in and I want to focus on my relationship with the Most High. I don't want to be in these environments no more. I really want to take things to another level. I feel like it's a lot of things that God wants to do for us and through us, and we're blocking a lot of it because we're just not in His will. And so as I'm talking to him, he's laughing, and I'm getting upset because it's like, bruh, why is you laughing? Like, this is serious for me. I need to know we gonna be on the same page moving forward. And he's like, yo, listen to yourself. Why not just not go? And I'm looking at him like, what's easy for you to say because you ain't had to do nothing to go. You just gonna go. I had outfit, ticket. I done got this part. We going. We finna have fun. Yeah. He's like, no, why not just not go? What if the breakthrough was in you not going? Now, mind you, I'm thinking that he's going to agree with my flesh. So naturally, I'm getting angry.
Yeah.
I'm getting angry with him. And so I found myself getting very angry with him. And, you know, he's like, I don't understand. He's like, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing because this sounds so funny. Like, we really do this as believers. Like, we pick and choose when we want to apply God's word or when we want to, you know, follow his will. He was like, I'm not trying to laugh at you or try to make you feel like no type of way. I'm just letting you know, like, you got to hear how you sound.
Yeah.
And it's like, I know how I sound. I know how I sound, and I'm just want to, you know, you trying to preach to me, and I just want to know, is we gonna take things to another level after this? And he was like, you keep saying after this, like, why not now? And so why he's saying this, y'all, I'm in my flesh and I'm fighting with him, right? Fighting with my husband because he's the one talking to me. But as I started to have more dialogue with him, I realized, one, I was operating in pride. Two, God was trying to speak to me. Now, I had just prayed and asked him for clarity on something. And I'm trying to speak to my husband and to get him on the same page. Whole time, God was like, I done showed you in more ways than many. Let me use your husband, somebody who you think is going to agree with you. Let me use your husband. So we having this conversation. He's not agreeing with me, and I'm getting angry with him. And now he's feeling some type of way because he's like, I know I'm not tripping. I'm
literally saying that.
Yeah, he's literally saying that, and I'm like. And then the tears started flowing. When I tell y'all, I cried like a baby. You know, one, because I was sorrowful. You know, I was sorrowful that I was allowing my pride to really take over in that moment. But I was more sorrowful because it wasn't my husband that was speaking. It was the Most High speaking through him. And I know it was because I didn't want to hear nothing that was being said. Everything was true. It was true, and it was the opposite of what my flesh wanted. And what makes it so crazy is there's a lot of things that I don't do. I don't go out. I don't do, you know what I mean? I'm not in that lifestyle anymore. Like I did that stuff when I was in my early 20s. You know, I don't do those things anymore. But why was this one such a fight? You know what I mean? But in essence of what I'm trying to say is, had he not been in a position spiritually or even willing to submit to God speaking to him to speak to me, he would have agreed with me. We would have went, and who knows what we would have forfeited. But you said something so powerful, babe. Put that phone down.
I'm taking notes, actually.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. It's the way I operate, and I can't wait until, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
You're doing very, very well, and I'm very, very proud of you. But no, I'm jotting down some notes because there's a couple things I want to touch on to add on to what you're saying.
Yeah.
Do you think? Go ahead.
No, I was gonna, you said something that was so profound. I want you to tell the people. You said something that was so profound to me. Like, you asked me, like, why was I in tears and all that stuff.
Oh, yeah. Okay. All right. So, boom, right? Well, starting with that, she got to a point where she was crying, and she just broke down. And I knew, right, when you are unified with your spouse, when a husband is unified with his wife and vice versa, you know each other like clockwork, like that. Like, you know, if she blinked funny, like, what's wrong with you? Something up. You know what I mean? Like, you know him that well. So when she started crying, I knew where it was coming from, but I needed her to speak on it so she can release that, so she can be free of that. You know what I mean? Now, let's get something straight. She's not crying because she can't go to the reggae concert. So if there's anybody who really doesn't have an ear to hear and you think that's why she's crying, this is where I kind of step in and protect my wife to knock that out the park. That's not why she's crying, because of the conviction is so heavy, and she knows what she needs to do, but her flesh is not agreeing with it. So, and if you really have a real relationship with the Most High, when he's speaking to you and your flesh is kind of deny it, it can take you down that road. It could take you to the point where you really break down. You know what I'm saying? You feel like that weight that you don't even have to carry is too heavy. You know what I mean? So she those tears was her releasing it and her giving up and surrendering to the Most High. That's what that was. It had nothing to do with the concert. You know what I'm saying? Because those tears could apply to anything that you're boxing, that you're going through when it comes down to spiritual warfare. So I look at her, I'm like, why are you crying? Like, where are those tears coming from? And she began to express to me that, you know, just in general and overall, she's tired of, you know what I'm saying, sometimes this fight can be exhausting because, you know, you want to give to the best of your ability, give the Most High the best of your ability. But sometimes there's things that you want to do that the Most High will not agree with. But sometimes what we do as believers, that's okay, this okay, that's okay. You know what I mean? And that's not cool. You know what I mean? So I told her, I'm like, listen, you have to understand, if I agreed with your flesh, I would have failed you. If I would have agreed with your flesh, I would have failed you, because I am the husband that you prayed for. And for you to box with me when you really hearing from the Most High through me, you're basically saying, God, what I prayed for, this ain't, you're getting what you prayed for. Yep. Now, with me talking some sense into her, letting it Most High use me to get her to understand, like, okay, what you're saying is silly. Like, you wanna get right with the Most High after the concert. That ain't no different from saying, what's today? Wednesday, right? All right, Monday, I'm gonna finally get right in the gym and start eating right and work out. Why you can't start now? I do that too. I do it too. Don't think we're talking from a context of like we got it all together. Nope. Stop all that. You know what I mean? So I can relate, but look how silly we sound. Yeah. Look how stupid we sound. I'm being real. Yeah, like we sound crazy. I'm wait till then to get right. No, why? Just go ahead and just get started. Do what you got to do now to get right. You know what I mean? So once I spoke that to her, like, you can see the weight come off her, because then she realized that I have now reached a point in my life where if we're going to be on track to reach a certain goal, like, you're getting all of me in order to reach that goal. Yeah. You're going to get all of me. And what you're requesting from me, I'm going to go 10 times harder to really show you, like, okay, we all in. Even if it's coming down to doing this podcast. Okay, you want to do this? Let's go set up in the backyard. Let's go do it. Let's not, because I found myself stuck in a place where it's like, wow, we need this fancy room and decorate it. Nah, we comfortable in our backyard. You know what I mean? And this is the best feeling because it's natural and everything like that. But you know what I mean? Like I told her, I would have failed you if I were to agree with your flesh. And I'm glad I didn't. And then knowing that she can see what I'm saying, it didn't take her long to really realize that, and was like, you know what, you're right. And I feel like that moment really hit her in a great way, and really changed her life and impacted her life, with the Most High getting her to understand, like, this is the man that you wanted to marry. You know what I mean? So I'm just glad, and I thank you, and I love you, and I love the fact that you're able to receive what I was saying. And even from that point, trust me, it was still a test, because now the day is coming up for the concert to come up. So now we play reggae. When I'm cooking my family breakfast, I'm playing reggae. You know what I'm saying? We having fun dancing around the house, just, you know, in the comfort of our own home or whatever. And, you know, but now we're hearing it differently, because we're trying to make a change in our life, even if it come down to something that we want to change as far as environments that we want to be in. So now anything that reminds us of it, it's like, ugh. So one day I'm making breakfast, and I got this routine where I play, you know what I'm saying, I'm playing music, making breakfast, and she come downstairs, and I'm just I'm in the kitchen flipping French toast, doing the linga and everything. She like, at first I'm like, no, she was like, I seen her face when she came into the kitchen. She was like, I'm like, oh, you want me to turn the music off? She's like, nah, you good. Not even 5 minutes go by. She was like, nope, turn it off. Turn it off. She was like, because I'm about to throw away everything that we just went through, everything that God just used you to speak life into me, and I'm about to throw all that away. I was like, you know what? I respect that. And now what does that look like maybe in your situation, or, you know what I'm saying, in general? Sometimes when you're trying to break free away from something, you got to stay away from things that maybe remind you of that situation. Maybe you're trying to stop smoking cigarettes, right? But say you're on a streak of not smoking cigarettes, but you got family members or friends that you hang around that smoke all the time. Sometimes you got to be like, depending how bad you want to change, you got to make adjustments around the ones you love. Yeah. You got to. And so whatever example that looks like for you, you know what I'm saying, you know, apply it to you. But it came down to that for us, where she couldn't even hear the music because, you know, she is serious about wanting to improve and change and not go back to who she used to be, as far as, you know what I'm saying, just how we used to move. So even for me, this was another point I was going to mention. I realized, and I could be honest with myself and say that I understand that God has called me really to bring his people to Christ, like to really exemplify, you know, be an example of him for other people. I can't do that in certain environments, but what I can admit, and I can say that I've used the excuse of working to be in these environments. I'm just going to work. I'm just going to work. I'm just going to work. What if that one person was really trying his or her best to be closer to God, and they may have looked at me as, yo, like, I love how they move. I love how, you know what I'm saying, not idolizing us, but like, you know what I'm saying, we're being an example to the best of our ability to represent the Most High. But because they still kind of struggle in their walk, they see us in certain environments that we should not be in if we're claiming to represent him, the Most High, and now they change their mind. Like, you know, I had faith in that person. Like I thought, you know what I mean? It's trust me, it can be like that. But we understand that we accept our role. Like, we choose a him before the club. We choose a him before liquor. We're choosing him before, you know what I'm saying, all these other things that don't matter. So it's going to be a daily struggle. It's going to be a test. You know what I mean? That's why we got to continue to lock in on our relationship with the Most High to strengthen that and be able to, you know what I'm saying, just make this process as smooth as possible, because these tests are going to come.
Absolutely.
They're going to come.
Absolutely. And, you know, just to continue to, you know, focus on, well, the first thing I want to say is, you know, you submitted to the Most High to speak to you. You submitted to his will in that moment, because you could have easily agreed with me. You could have easily agreed with me and say, you know, yeah. And even at one point in the conversation, you had mentioned like, oh, this is going to be, you know, situation by situation. And I'm like, no, we need to be solid. We need to be solid. This is our problem. We are not solid on how we want to go for the Most High. You know, we can't be unevenly yoked. We can't have one person wanting to go harder than the other. We both have to have the same drive and passion, so that way we can see him do what he needs to do through us. And that's been a big issue. That's been a big stumbling block. Like, you know, we should be so much further in life, and I'm not taking away from where we are, because I definitely think we've come a long way, but I know where God said we were supposed to be. And so when you know what he showed you, and you know you're the reason why you're not there, and you know your husband the reason, like y'all collectively the reason, it naturally makes you upset, because it's like, yo, why can't we just get it right? And literally, like, some years ago, we can be honest, like, it was a hard time for me to get you to see it from this perspective now. Isn't it crazy how the roles reverse? But when we're not in unity, we're not in sync, we're not evenly yoked, what ends up happening is the leader leads the pack in the wrong direction. And so now you're supposed to be leading me, but where are you leading me? If you're not tuned in and tapped into the Most High's will, where are you leading me? Because at one point it was just me going to Bible study. It was just me doing all these different things. I'm in ministry. I'm serving. I'm sold out for the Lord. I ain't drinking. I ain't smoking. I ain't in no clubs. You couldn't find me nowhere that did not look like the Most High. And then after a while, you know, we started going through things in our marriage. You know, eventually I just say, you know what, whatever, I'm tired of doing good. And now I'm finding myself in these environments with him. I'm allowing the excuses of it being work to be in these environments with him. The whole time God is like, you know you ain't supposed to be there. You know that. Y'all not supposed to be there, but you know you ain't supposed to be there. And so, again, like, had he not been in a position now, we would have been there. We would have been there. And I can remember, you know, even the arguments we would have, like, we would argue about this, okay, y'all? You would be like, man, you know, it's crazy how as believers we pick and choose when we want to apply God's word. He said that same example years ago, arguing me down about being in these environments, because what we do is we make traditions out of his law, out of his word, and we make our own traditions. We formulate how we want to apply his word and what's comfortable to us, what our understanding. And the whole time he like, first of all, you're not even supposed to lean on your own understanding. You're supposed to trust in me with everything that you got. And you focusing on me, I will show you the way to go. But when you trying to make your own assumptions of my word, you gonna do what you want to do.
Yep.
And now what are you doing? You're Xing me out of my own word. Like, who does that? And so that's what we was doing. We was literally like picking and choosing. And so the whole point of the story is because had we not been, first of all, had I been in another place, I wouldn't have been able to hear from him.
Wow.
I just prayed that week and I asked God, I said, God, take the mirror and put it in my face and show me myself.
Wow.
What is it that I'm doing wrong? Because I didn't think it was wrong to go to that concert. I don't go nowhere else. I don't do nothing. Why I can't go? And it's not about me not going. It's God is calling us to another level.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, he's calling us to another level in the kingdom. And we have to detach ourselves from this world. Yeah. And it's hard because our flesh and the iniquities and all the things we're inclined to do, it makes us want to do these things.
Oh,
but God is like, nah, I'm sorry. I have something so big for you both. Yeah. That you won't even have enough room to receive everything that I'm giving you. You ain't gonna have no room but for the overflow to flow on your loved ones and your family members. You're not gonna have no choice but to share all of this that I'm about to give you. But I don't trust you with it because you're not yielding to my will. You doing what you want to do, and y'all collectively doing this. Y'all supposed to be. They're supposed to be like this.
Lord God bless me, but I'm gonna go over here and do what I want and what I like.
I'm gonna put you on hold real quick.
Stay right there. Don't move. Mm-hmm. Don't leave. Let me go do this and a third. Let me go call up this chick. Let me go call up this dude. Let me go, you know what I'm saying, indulge in these activities that you will not approve of, that you do not approve of. But I still want to see your hand. I still want you to bless me. I still want you to wake me up every day. I still want you to bless me and my kids. I still want you to provide for me, even when it look like I can't provide for myself. I still want you. I still want you here.
Still want you to bless my marriage.
I still want these things from you. But according to my actions, I'm making it difficult for me to see your hand, but I'm comfortable with it because for me to get out of this comfort zone of what I want to do and how I want to operate, it's going to take some work. I don't want to do the work. I just want to see your hand. But come with me while I do what I want to do as you continue to give me hand. It don't work that way.
And this is so beautiful. You know, we have these debates on social media as per usual about leading, you know, submitting and all these different things. And it's like, you know, I always hear, well, yeah,
that's a whole nother episode.
Go ahead, but I'm going to tap on it real quick because this has got something to do with unity.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like submitting, what am I submitting to? One, I know that submission and submitting to the Most High's authority, I know the difference, you know, when it comes down to that. That's God's authority right there. That's my husband. He's appointed him to be a leader in my life. So his position is up here. I'm not saying that my position is down here, but he's the head. And so I have to submit to, you know, his leadership. Even sometimes when I don't feel confident in it, I have to trust in God because I know that if I trust in him, he's going to give me discernment and he's going to use me to speak to him and all these different things. But that's what submission is. And I always hear ladies like, well, it's easy to submit to a man when he's leading you in the right direction. And I 100% agree with that statement, because if he is submitted to God, who he's supposed to be submitted to, that's how this thing works. If you're submitted to the Most High, then you're doing what he tells you to do. You're saying what he wants you to say. You're going where he wants you to go, which means now it's comfortable for me to follow you because I know you're submitted to somebody that has power over you. You know what I mean? And what better person to submit to than our creator? You know what I mean? The Most High, YAH. So now it's easier for me to submit to him. So when he said what he was saying and I snapped out of my flesh and I heard God speaking through him, and I'm like, nah, you're not tripping. I'm not even going to allow you to feel like you're doing something wrong. You are doing everything right. You are leading me away from the darkness, and that's what I need, because you could have easily agreed with me and we could have both been in there, and who knows, that could have been our last night alive. You know what I'm saying? Like, who knows what could have been the outcome of that, or what if this next thing that God is getting ready to do got held up even more? So I'm grateful that he's in this position now, and that we're on this path of just one righteousness and trying to be as holy as possible. And I'm saying this because we're not going to be perfect. You know, we're going to have things that come up that's going to try to create a wedge. But as long as we stay focused and locked in on the Most High, and we keep him first, and we making sure we communicating with each other, we making sure, we are having our discernment heightened so we can see the enemy, because he's going to attack. That's his job. We're not going to underestimate him. We're not going to be ignorant of his schemes. But as long as we know these things and we making sure we like this, we locked in, it makes it harder for him to get in. You know what I mean? It's when we're not on the same page and we're not operating in unity, we leave that door cracked open. And now he's sliding in there like, oh yeah, there go a perfect opportunity to get in there, because you're not like that. Y'all not locked in.
Wow.
Come on, Holy Spirit. Use me for your glory, because it's too many marriages going down the crap because people don't know the foundation. I'm just gonna be honest. Like, there's no way you can stand in front of a pastor or whoever is marrying you and taking these vows and you not understand that this covenant is not just you and one person. It's you, your spouse, and God. People run into the altar to get married and they don't even understand what they signing up for. This a whole nother journey. And you don't always know who you're marrying. So stop with these fantasies about, you're supposed to know who you getting with before. Man, listen, let me tell you something. You can get with somebody and that person be a whole nother person after you get married. Inclinations, things we're inclined to, iniquities, those things don't care about you being married. You could be in your 30s wondering why all of a sudden you want to lust after women or whatever your situation is, wondering why you struggling, but your father was like that. Your father's father, your mother's mother. It comes from our generations. Wow. And so you struggling in your marriage trying to figure out why all of a sudden this is an issue now. And then you got the people like, you should have thought about that before you got married. Man, listen, you don't know how things are going to show up in your life. And that's one thing that we have to do to keep ourselves unified, is making sure we're extending grace and mercy to each other.
Yep. Real quick, just to touch on the small piece of when you was like, submission, you know what I mean? Every woman, I believe that, I don't want to say every woman, I'll say most women wants a man that she can marry and who can lead, like, so that man can lead. In order for that to happen, in the simplest form, what does you want a relationship with this man, but what does this man relationship look like with the Most High? Because if he's just in a relationship with himself and he's leaning on to his own understanding, he's doing things just his way and how he wanted and how he moved, like he's created his own God in his mind with no relationship with the Most High, then you want to be led where? You want to succeed where? Like you want to get married to who? You know what I mean? And that's just the truth, because in order for us to be where we are right now, me as a leader, my relationship with the Most High had to strengthen. You know what I mean? I had to seek him for myself. I had to build a relationship with him. So now that I built a relationship with the Most High, now I'm changing. I mean, even physically, you know what I mean? Spiritually, mentally, and all those things. You know what I mean? So now I'm moving the right way to the best of my ability, because I'm still a human being. I still have to make decisions, whether it be small decisions or big decisions. But the overall me has changed, and the overall me is better for my wife. So now my kids have someone better to look at. They have someone better to follow. They have someone better to listen to. Because had I not found God and created a relationship, or built my relationship with him, what would I look like for my kids, for my sons, for my daughters? You know what I mean? What would they look like? Because I'm trying to pave the way for them. But what rules what guideline am I following? You know what I'm saying? What am I going by in order to be successful in that area as a father? You know what I mean? So my relationship with the Most High holds me accountable on a whole nother level. In order to be right for my wife to the best of my ability. You feel me? So I just Just had to say that piece, you know.
Nah, I respect
but
that.
this was amazing.
It
this
was.
is what I'm talking about.
It was.
This episode right here.
Episode,
I pray y'all watch this whole 40 some minutes of this. Like, for real. We about to wrap. We got a couple minutes left. I just, babe, I love you. This was perfect, and I'm glad. I don't want to say we struggled to get this one done because we was too busy trying to learn the Tamia. Can't get enough dance, line dance.
I'm supposed to say that on there because
what the line dance?
I'm supposed to be learning it yet.
Oh. So we'll drop this episode after you.
Nah. But no, seriously, I just wanted to say something, you know, because this is a loaded episode, and we may have to do another part to this one, y'all. We may have to do a part 2 because this is a heavy topic. It's a loaded topic. But you know, even with unity in your marriage, what does it show your children? Like he talked about, you know, our culture as Black people, or you know, as Black people, we've been taught to live in dysfunction. You know what I mean? We've been taught to live in dysfunction. Not a lot, not all, but there's a lot of us who have come from dysfunctional families. And so we don't get to see, you know, the mother and the father in the home. It's usually a single parent home, or, you know, there are children witnessing domestic violence, or, you know, just witnessing a mother disrespecting the father, or the father disrespecting the mother, or the husband, you know, the wife disrespecting the husband. And it's like, it's confusing to the kids. And so, you know, being in unity in your marriage, like it's so beautiful for your kids, because now they get to see what a functional family looks like. You know, they don't see us argue. They do not see us argue. They don't see us disagreeing. They don't see us going against each other. We don't do that in front of them, and we purposely don't do that in front of them because they need to see us operating in unity, because that's what builds up a functional family. But they also need to know you're not going to disrespect him, and you're not going to disrespect me. And, you know, seeing us operate in unity, you know, they get all grossed out when we in there dancing and we give each other a kiss or whatever. But little do they know, we are showing them something healthy. Something that they'll always be able to take with them when they get in their adult life, and they can be like, man, I remember seeing mommy and daddy dancing and hugging in the kitchen, and, you know, cooking breakfast, dancing with each other, doing all that. You know, they'll have those memories versus, oh yeah, all mommy and daddy did was argue, all mommy and daddy did was fight. We got to also know how to be like, you know what, let's go upstairs real quick. Y'all sit downstairs real quick. Me and daddy got to talk. When we come back downstairs, we squabble it out. You know, we have our conversation. We come back down. They'll never know we had a disagreement. And, you know, I just think that, you know, being unified, it just benefits in so many different areas. You know, we could keep talking about this, but we're gonna wrap up this podcast because, you know, we definitely covered a lot today. But I think we're gonna do a part 2, babe. Don't you think we need to do a part 2?
Yeah, we might do that with some guests.
Yeah, I think we need to do a part 2, y'all. Y'all stay locked in and tuned in. We're gonna definitely start bringing some guests on now. We got another episode we're gonna do. Stay tuned in for that. We'll be dropping that one. Before we go though, I do want to encourage you all to make sure you go log on to ashfordfilms.com.
You know,
for all of your podcast needs. We come with the equipment, the setup, the cameras, the lighting, whatever it is. We come with a full production, and
we feed you too.
Oh yeah. He does.
Take care of you.
He does. He just added that in here too, y'all. So get with my bae. He's on every social media platform. You can look him up, Ashford Films. If you have not already, make sure y'all go ahead and follow us on YouTube. Hit that subscribe button. Share it with somebody you know. Comment if you got any type of topics or anything like that you guys want us to touch on. Please comment. And then the other thing I was gonna say too is we're y'all listening, and we're also on all social media platforms. So make sure you guys continue to stay tuned in, man. This is about to be amazing.
You was amazing.
You was amazing.
No, you was amazing.
You was amazing.
No, you was amazing.
All right, y'all. We about to be up out of here. Until next time, stay blessed, y'all.